orin national anthem yín fún yín. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé tá a wá yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé tá a wá yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló gbé ní débi gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, tẹ́ bá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ọmọ tí kò gbẹ́kọ́, ó dá mi lójú pé yóò jìyà. Fáìtì ẹ kó máa gbọ́ and the rest of your cronies. Ọmọ tí kò gbẹ́kọ́ láti music ṣó ń gbọ́, ó dá mi lójú pé yóò jìyà. Iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe. VDM tí wọ́n bá jalè wọ́n á tún máa parọ́. Iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe. Wọ́n máa sọra wọn di whitewasher lórí social media. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, tẹ́ bá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ìyá yín àti tìyín síta ní age 12 kẹ́ lọ máa wó oúnjẹ òòjọ́. Same old same old. Àwọn èèyàn bí jù sí. They cannot wọ́n lè wọ́n lè pè yín sákèésí kan tọ́ yín sọ́nà dáadáa. Thanks baby soft like that. So this is, you've seen the essence of education when some parents are working hard, ensuring their children have good education. They've thrown some of you to the streets. Only Baba Carpenter, I'm just a carpenter. I'm just a carpenter. I'm just a carpenter. Òun ló bá débi tó dé yẹn, ó ti sáàkì 3 lawyers. Lọ́yà tó máa gba iṣẹ́ jù sí, wọn ò tí ì bí. Bóyá wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń sun oorun ẹ̀ lálẹ́ yìí ni. Because matter yìí lè tá à ń bá lọ go long. Wọ́n ní ṣé kíní ló kọ ìdè rush wẹ́wẹ́ ìdè eléyìí ìdè slow wẹ́wẹ́ ìdè slow. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fẹ́ bí lọ́yà jù sí, ẹ lọ sun oorun alẹ́ yìí o. So that bóyá alẹ́ lọmọ yẹn máa wọlé, ẹ máa bí next year. So that títí 20-something years, a máa rí lọ́yà tó máa gba kéèsì Joseph Aloba and his group of criminals, àwọn critical criminals. Àwọn bíi Bayo Richard, àwọn bíi kí ni Pork-York olódo olóṣì, àwọn bíi Vengeance, nǹkan réwu gbogbo wọn. Lẹ́yìn tí ṣebọ́n lò ti doctor ni, wọ́n lò ti lọ ká doctor. Èlè ṣì gbogbo wọn máa jáde lóru, wọn máa rìn káàkiri. Ẹ̀yin people yìí, ẹ báyé jẹ́ o. You messed up your life. Ẹ fi orí gba èpè fún àwọn ọmọ yín, àwọn ọmọ tẹ́tí bí àtẹ̀tẹ̀ tí bí. Ẹ forí gba èpè. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ hóòsì, ṣé Yomi ti padà sí Nàìjíríà ni? Ó yà pọ́n ní Yomi ti padà sí Nàìjíríà o. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ṣé ó ti padà sí Nàìjà ni? Hóòsì. Mọ́mí Jupsi, mọ́mí Pretty Lady, ṣé Yomi ti padà sí Nàìjà ni? Ṣáwọn tó fẹ́ pa á, ṣé wọ́n ti ronúpìwàdà ni? Wọ́n ti fàyè wọn fún Jésù?
Mi mọ ó pẹ́ kó tó padà nù, ìgbà tí òkú nǹkan kí ló ń ṣe.
Bóyá àwọn tó fẹ́ pa Nàìjíríà, bóyá wọ́n ti fàyè wọn fún Jésù, wọn ò pa mọ́. Tí wọ́n ti padà sí Nàìjíríà.
Tó bá ṣàtìdé kó ṣò location ẹ̀ kó bí báyìí ló wà kó yé sákiri.
Àbí kó yé sákiri kó gba lẹ́tà tiẹ̀.
Wọ́n dẹ̀ pàdé ní court.
Kó lọ kí Sodom àti Gomorrah ní Kirikiri. Kọ́ lọ bára wọn ṣèpàdé ọmọ ẹgbẹ́, ìpàdé ọmọ ilé. Lọ ṣe family meeting. Ìkọ́ gbogbo wọn ló máa pẹ́ lẹ́wọ̀n bí ọ̀bọ. Ó ga o. Oríṣiríṣi. Late Aries. Láti ìjẹta náà, ṣé ìjẹta àbá ti jẹrin náà ti ń play record ẹ̀, ìwọ́de àìní ká kúlù fún ẹ, kára gbá fún ẹ, ìwọ olóṣì tó gbé speaker sọ fún ẹ. Orí ọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́rọ̀ òun lóbi ń kú sí. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Ọmọ́wùnmí, ọmọ tó rí rí, ọmọ tó mọ̀ rí, ọmọ tẹ́ ẹ̀jọ́ ní kankan pọ̀, o ti torí ẹ̀ o ò sùn o ò wó. Problem wá bá ìṣẹ̀dá Innocent Odion. Títí tí òun sọ̀rọ̀ lọ, wọ́n ní oorun ló ń gbà tọwọ́ ọmọdé, òórùn wá gbé ẹ lọ ó wá ń hanrun bí locomotive. Ship gan ò gbọ́dọ̀ dún bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tí wọ́n bá ṣáná sí ship tó wà lórí omi tó ń move gan, even train underground wa London gbọ́dọ̀ pariwo bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ó jẹ́ lọ tọ́jú ara ẹ̀ wẹ́nà ó máa kú fínfín lórí ọ̀rọ̀ iná ni anyway. So ó ti bọ̀ mí ná pé èmi ò gbàdúrà àlàáfíà fún ẹ, mi ì gbàdúrà ìwòsàn fún ẹ. Ẹni bí ẹni ẹ̀kọ́ ní ẹ àtiwá àti crunchy queen ẹni òṣì oníwà burúkú ó jókòó síbẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ hàn. Ṣé ó rántí tán sí pàpẹ́ ọjọ́ kan wàá sùn lórí kinní yẹn ó máa cut off circulation fún ẹ.
Mayor ìgbà wo ló fẹ́ ráyè lo CPAP kó wá compliant pẹ̀lú CPAP ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Wùmí ló gbé sórí 24/7 orí bíi ló wà bí ò sí bí how many phone ló ní tó fi ń ranjú káàkiri tó mọ nǹkan tó ń sọ lórí platform káàkiri kó lè rí lò.
Ó ga o ó wá mọ̀dẹ́ kọ́kọ́ pé ṣé wọ́n ń play ṣé èèyàn kan wá sí London tó lọ rìkọ́dù train bó ṣe move ní tí wọ́n fi ṣe project ni àfìgbà tán ní rárá o late erisi innocent ìwín wẹ́wẹ́ òun ló ń dún. Mo ní irọ́ ẹ má parọ́ mọ́ irọ́ ẹ má parọ́ mọ́ wèrè àkúdà ìyá yìí ó ti kú ẹ fòkú lẹ̀ sí tiẹ̀ àwọn nírọ́ o òkú ló ń dún o. Kí ló dé kọ̀ǹkọ̀ ní ẹni ẹ ti gbé ní àwọn village rí tó wà ní ibi táwọn frog àti kọ̀ǹkọ̀ bá ti ń dún wọ́n máa gbà mọ́ra wọn lọ́wọ́ olóṣì olórí burúkú ẹni ẹ̀kọ́ lórí ọmọ ẹjọ́. How do you make enmity of somebody you've never met before in your life? Eléyìí ṣì ń ṣe mí kàyéfì o. This one still dey surprise me. Aries, crunchy queen, Aniki Shaya. Wá ń ṣe ọ̀tá ọmọ tẹ́ẹ̀rírí àfìgbà tẹ́lẹ̀ máa pógun lọ ẹni ológun lolúwa inú ogun dẹ̀ lẹ máa kú sí. Bí àwọn ọmọ Pharaoh ṣe parun sínú òkun pupa bẹ́ẹ̀ iná ṣe fẹ́ parun nìyẹn. Wọ́n ti pè yín kìlọ̀ títí àti sọ àwa ti jíṣẹ́ tọ́lọ́run wa nísìn a máa sì ń dé bèbè Red Sea. Ogun Pharaoh ó wọlé sínú òkun pupa. Bí mo ti ọmọ màmá kọ máa ní hallelujah ló mú mi gòkè mo dúpẹ́ hallelujah ló mú mi gòkè nínú ewu hallelujah ló mú mi gòkè máwọn ọ̀tá lọ́wọ́ hallelujah ló mú mi gòkè odò. Ìgbà tí àwọn wèrè tán bá tí wọ́n ti gbé jó mi tó ti gbóríṣiríṣi mi tí Ọlọ́run ti da àjálù burúkú sí wọn láàrin because àjálù burúkú ti já sí wọn. Aries ò rórun sùn crunchy queen ó ń fẹ̀ fún kiri bíi loudspeaker ọrùn ẹ̀ ti papọ̀ mọ́ àyà ẹ̀. Crunchy queen ò lọ́rùn mọ́ òun rìn kiri bíi ìrìnkèrindò nínú gbórùn mọ́lẹ̀ òun lẹ máa rí lórí Mọ́ńjọ́lá àǹtí mi Mọ́ńjọ́lá àǹtí mi olòṣì olórí burúkú tó bá wo èjì Mọ́ńjọ́lá ṣojú Mọ́ńjọ́lá lọ gbogbo èèyàn làǹtí ẹ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ àgbà òfò àgbàrá dáradá waste of education. Gbogbo yín wá rìn kiri ẹ pera yín jọ ẹ̀yin ẹni ibi ẹ̀ ń fara yín like a magnet. Gbogbo oríṣiríṣi àjálù burúkú ti jálù yín títí àwọn èèyàn ti kú láàrin yín ẹlẹ́ẹ̀ní gbọ́. Ṣètì ọjọ́ kan ní gbogbo yín máa papọ̀ báyìí inú òkun pupa lẹ máa lọ kú sí. Láti ọdún méjì tí Lighton ó sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di bára wọ́n gbé Lighton permanently sínú gbá ọṣẹ. Ìyá yẹn ń sìn kò rí nǹkan ṣe sílé ayé ẹ̀ ó kàn ti wà lost. Ìyá ẹjẹ́ lọ wẹ orí yín ṣebẹ́ lọ́mọ àlùfáà níyín ni ìyá Tamúrégé lọ́mọ àlùfáà ní wọ́n sọ ń jọ yẹn wọ́n ní ìyá o orúkọ yín wà lára àwọn orúkọ tí wọ́n gbé sínú gbá ọṣẹ. ìgbà yẹn ìyá yẹn ṣì lọ́ọ̀fù Joseph Alọ́ba. Ẹ filẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kán fi síbẹ̀. Ṣèborí òun náà fi sínú igbá ọṣẹ. Ìyá ò mọ̀ pé àtúbọ̀tán igbá ọṣẹ. Ìyá ò mọ̀ pé the igbá ọṣẹ will be forever. Ó jẹ́ wá bẹ host wa kán bẹ tọ́ka ń du kán bẹ tàbẹ́là méje. So that bóyá ó sì ẹ lè má. Cruise mode láwa o. Ó sì ẹ̀jẹ̀ wá ṣé àbẹ́là funfun lẹ fẹ́ tàn ni àbí dúdú.
àbẹ́là dúdú ló fìtì wọn, ṣe mọ̀ pé ọkọ̀ wọn dúdú, àbẹ́là dúdú ló fún wọn.
Àbábẹ́là pọ́pù.
dúdú ni kì í ṣe pọ́pù, dúdú ló mọ fìtì wọn torí inú wọn ò wò.
Adẹ̀lẹ̀ tán yálò ẹ̀rọ pé yálò ìgbà kan náà ló máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ Adéníkẹ́ oní mashed potato. Wọ́n wèrè. Wọ́n sọ fún wọn gbà wọ́n ní ẹyin 15 náà kórin yín sínú gbá ọṣẹ o. Ẹ wá nǹkan ṣe sọ́rọ̀ ayé yín o. Wọ́n náwọn ò kí ẹ̀ kinní kan alọ́ba. Àwa oríṣiríṣi alọ́ba tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jáde. À ń rí onílé alọ́ba, ìlérí ìyàwó alọ́ba, ìyá ìlérí, ìyá àbúrò ìlérí, ẹ̀gbọ́n Mohbad, girlfriend Mohbad, ó ga o. Gbogbo wọn náà wọ́ bí ejò, wọ́n tẹ̀lé ejò sí. Bàbá ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ olóṣì crunchy queen náà bọ́ta òun Bọ́sẹ̀dé Alọ́ba. Woman yẹn tó bá rẹ̀ ń tó ugly jù ẹ lọ. In fact gbogbo nǹkan ní ó fi ní àbùkù fi wà lára crunchy queen Bọ́sẹ̀dé Ngozi. Ló máa pariwo tó bí ẹni tó ń gbàgbé ṣùkú àgbàdo sí fùrọ̀ ẹ̀. Olùṣọ́ Ọlọ́run ló mọjọ́ tó ti dókó láti. Kò tó bá ti ẹ̀rọ kódó ó dẹ lọ́ra dídò. Olùṣìwèrè aláwòkù. So ó pariwo ń gbà yẹn òun fẹ́ yọwọ́ àwọn ọmọ àwọn lẹ́nu àwo láì ṣe Liam. Ta ni ò ní sinmi ń sìn yóò ṣì yóò fò yàrá dáradára. Ẹni ègbé ẹni ẹ̀kọ́ gbogbo yín ẹ máa jẹ mo yóò yà. That girl Tracy. That issue of Dangote trailers and truck is been an ongoing problem in Nigeria. It's been an ongoing problem, and like I said, ṣebí èèyàn ní driver tó drive kìíní is because we as human, I don't know if you came earlier when I was talking about we also taking responsibility as well, because it is an ongoing problem. It's been going on for over 15 years. This issue of trailers and all those things. There is no proper regulation. And even when the government puts regulation in place, àwọn èèyàn náà ló máa go against the regulation that has been put in place. And you know how they can get away with it? Because somebody is going to collect riba, wọ́n á gba bribe to sweep it under the ground. And like I have said earlier on, just this evening I said it, tí ò bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa, we don't know the implications of this bad behavior. Until tó bá tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó súnmọ́ wa, that is when we will know the extent of the damages of this ìwà ìbàjẹ́ tá à ń jẹ́ kó máa allow tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nigeria. Trucks, HGV, and all those things should have dedicated time they drive. And in the UK, I don't know where I think you live in America, but in the UK, there are times see wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ rìn. There are roads wọ́n máa sọ pé HGV cannot pass through this road. And àwọn trailers in Nigeria, because they drive bigger truck, they drive bigger car, they don't listen to rules and regulation of the roads. Wọ́n believe pé torí mọ́tò àwọn tóbi wọ́n lè fi ṣe ìwà ìbàjẹ́. And to be honest, a car is a weapon. Tó bá fi mọ́tò ẹ̀ harass anybody is seen as being gbé ìbọn or gbé àdá or something. So it's a weapon that can be used to hurt someone. So until we come together collectively, if we come together as citizens, as humans, as people, and say, you know what, this is not acceptable. This is not right. We need to hold ourselves accountable. Me saying that, I'm talking in respect of the drivers of these vehicles now, and holding the government accountable, making our roads safe for us. Because nísìn èèyàn tán ti crush ẹsẹ̀ ń sìn tọ́lọ́run bá ba ṣe tán bá tí wọ́n bá ṣì ní good orthopedic doctor ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n á bá rí ẹsẹ̀ ètò, but believe me, that person will spend nothing less than 6 weeks on
ẹsẹ̀
hospital
tọ́nà ti
bed.
gé
Wọ́n ti gé, you see.
ọ̀nà ti gé náà ọ̀nà ti gé ẹsẹ̀ kan bóyá ẹsẹ̀ kan fẹ́ gé kejì gan sẹ̀.
wọn tí mo bóyá lọ ní gé kejì gan sẹ̀.
Wow.
And then the driver, according to what I read, not quite long, the driver does not have a driving license.
What?
A young guy, he does not have I don't know how far that is true anyway.
báwo ló ṣe wá.
Wow. So, Shaziri, to be honest, if it is somewhere here in the UK or America, Dangote would have been in prison for a long time. And this is not capping. The atrocities that Dangote trucks have committed in Nigeria, àwọn ẹ̀mí tí wọ́n ti take Mami, let me talk. Àwọn ẹ̀mí tí the drivers from these people have taken in Nigeria yẹn kì í ṣe kékeré, and kò sí apology, kò sí accountability, kò sí taking responsibility to, kò sí, let's say, kò sí pé I'm sorry about this whole thing, I'm going to give better training to my drivers. Nothing. He just go about his merry way. And this is, so when you hear Nigerians say, tó bá lówó wàá gbádùn Nigeria, nǹkan tó ń sọ ní pé tó bá ní owó wàá ní right láti tàpá sí òfin ìlú. You can get away with anything. In fact, you can get away with apàyàn. Because tell me, if it is a sane climb, a sane society, ni Dangote ti ní those fleet of trucks. Truck ẹ lónìí òun ló ní problem, truck ẹ lọ́la ó ní problem. Ẹ sure pé wọn ò ní tí lọ sí house to discuss his matter. Ẹ sure pé wọn ò ní tí gba license to until he give better until something is done, until reform of his workplace is done. Even here, NHS gan mi tán bá sọ pé kò ṣe dáadáa, tí CQC bá wá tán bá ṣe investigation and they say that you're underperforming, they can lock the place up, they can lock a unit. There are so many things like that. Ìlú tá wà yìí ọ̀gá ẹ lọ́gàá. So, and at the end of the day, it's the public that is the ọ̀gá of every public worker. But in Nigeria, in as much you're rich, you can get away with probably anything. Dangote will not be putting money into the medical expenses of this èèyàn tí wọ́n ti cut ẹsẹ̀ ń sìn. Wọ́n ti sọ yẹn di aláàbọ̀ ara ń sìn. Èèyàn tó lẹ́sẹ̀ méjì tó lọ́wọ́ méjì ò tí ì ríṣẹ́ ṣe ní Nigeria. The rehabilitation that we need to go on in that person's life is not it might run into millions of naira. And Dangote will not give a penny into the expenses that is going to be incurred. And yes, the infection bá fi wọ ẹsẹ̀ kejì or any of the limbs, they might have to amputate it as well. So I honestly imagine they want to cut the second leg. That might be what we surface if they cannot, maybe infection to war and they cannot salvage it, they might have to so as to prevent it spreading to the rest of the body. If it's gangrenous, they have to cut it off. So tell me, in a society tí ò ní good roads, tí ò ní good road left any wheelchair access. We don't even understand what wheelchair access is. Need good road, need good health, need good ambulance services. All our doctors have japa, our nurses have japa. The ones that are there, they are overworked, they are frustrated, and they are lashing their frustration out on people. Dr. Dr. Alonge was, I don't know if he's still the CMD of UCH, Chief Medical Director. He was one of the best orthopedic surgeon that I know then. So I don't, he's obviously a consultant and he's the CMD. I don't know if he's been changed. He was very good, was one of the best. So if, I don't know. So all the ones that are supposed to teach the younger generation, gbogbo wọn ti sá lọ tán. So how do you now salvage a situation? Báwo náà ṣe fẹ́ ṣe fixations? Who is going to? Otegba is now the CMD. Yeah, I see. There was a time Tope Alonge was a CMD. You know. All of them have left. The good ones, the professors that know their onions, most of them have left or they are old. So the ones that are in between those age that are supposed to be teaching them, one in the UK, one in America, they are doing exploits. Some of them wants to go back home, but when they read all this depressing something, yes, Bonnie, I don't know if you were here earlier when I spoke about it. Wait time in hospital is crazy. And that is why I talked about being patient and being kind to our patients, to especially those that come to the clinic. It is crazy. It's worse now. It's really, really worse. Because tó bá jẹ́ one doctor ló ń speak. Imagine. Tó bá jẹ́ one doctor ló ń rí patient ní clinic tó sì máa lọ ṣe ward round tó máa ṣe. Imagine. Read what Powerful said. If somebody have trained 6 cardiologists and they have JAPA, please, what is the hope of our people that have cardiac issue? What is our hope in that country? Nobody is talking about this because kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ sọ pé àgbàdúrà, it will not be me. I will live in good health. I will live in good health. Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kí n ṣe kinní kan. But the life is...
No, you have rice.
Okay.
You can have ananasi today.
No, I don't think so. You can have it.
I just want to do it too much. It's really good. I want you to eat it.
Okay. You know, so it's just a lot going on. It's just a lot. And our government, nobody is talking about it. The brain drain. Imagine. The brain drain happening in Nigeria is a lot. And it's just so much. I'm unstoppable. I agree with you totally. Honestly, I agree with you. These are social issues that should be talked about, that should be discussed. Whatever people will leave. They will want to go to where they are talking about Okwatobo, or talking about fracas, talking about cursing and abusing. Ibi tẹ́ máa ti rí wọn tán like níbi tán bá ti ń bú Ọmọ́wùmí ní ó ní life wire wọn. So bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ èèyàn kan ló gbọ́, we will keep talking about it. We will keep trying to talk about it because it is sad. It is really sad. It is really sad, to be honest. Health is not something we should joke with. We have population of over 200 million, and you don't even have how many thousand doctors lower Nigeria, how many nurses, how many pharmacists. Now look at the mistakes that is happening every time. When somebody is saying they trained 6 cardiologists and all the 6 cardiologists have left, even in America, in an area I was reading I can't remember which area in California, in the whole of California, only up to in that particular area, they don't even have up to 20 black cardiologists. Now look at it. So these people are even asking and encouraging the young black doctors to specialize in that area. Because to be very honest with you, diabetes, heart issue is one of the major problems we have as black people. Is one of our major problems. Take it or not, our way of life, our lifestyle, socio-economic factors, our genetics is part of the things that leads to us having these issues. These are issues that affect us as Black people. And if we don't have people to look after us, we don't have people that are trained in those areas to look after us, what is our hope? You know, what is our hope? Among Judu Niatimari hypertension, Letimari coronary artery disease, Letimari ischemic heart disease, so many issues that is dealing with the heart. We are seeing the thinning of the arteries, we have atherosclerosis, we have so many issues dealing with the heart. Wow. It's among Judu, especially the Africans, Letimari diabetes. Diabetes is very, very common among us. The food we consume, our sedentary life, we don't exercise enough, we smoke, we drink, we consume all sort of things. It is among us, latently, a lot of kidney disease among our young men. Most especially because the preventive measures are not there. And what are the preventive measures? Teaching, public health. Government used to spend, during Babangida era, as bad as Babangida, people might not like Babangida, but his wife, Miriam Babangida, did a lot in the aspect of public health. She actually did. You know, and there was a swift or a bit of change in that period. We need help in our public health, you know. We need help. We need teaching in our public health. We need aspects of prevention, because if you are able to prevent a disease from occurring, you have solved half of your problem. And when it has occurred, how do we manage these situations? These are parts of it. Things need to be dealt with at grassroots before it escalated to going to places like UCH. UCH, Louvre, Lasut, those places are tertiary institutions. And why they have those rates of àwọn èèyàn tó ń kú ni pé kí ó tó dé ọ̀dọ̀ wọn, ó ti máa ń late. It's late by the time it gets to the tertiary institution. So I'm unstoppable. We need to create awareness. We need to go back to grassroots. Public health. There's no point in you studying public health in the university and you just want to move away and just go to NGO. We need that awareness, the grassroots, teaching about healthy lifestyle, change of lifestyle. How does socioeconomic affect the way we eat, the way we drink? To be honest, somebody who is eating from hand to mouth, tí ò tí ì rí oúnjẹ jẹ, ó máa prefer láti lọ ra fùfú 500 naira tó máa yó gbogbo ilé than tó máa lọ ra ọsàn. Tẹ́ máa ní kó jẹ fruit, kó jẹ ọsàn. How do we teach people about, managing these things? Yes, Anita, you're very right. So these are diseases that are common among Black people. And how do we tackle this? How do we manage this? It is where I'm coming from now. What are the factors that are predisposing factors into having chronic heart disease, heart failure, and heart attack? Yes, I've even seen a 20-something Black person with stroke. All these are common among Dudu. How do we train our people? How do we sensitize our people? How do we tell them, look, healthy lifestyle is always the best. Our genetics is already playing tricks on us, is already scoring 100 on us. So how do we now balance it? At least exercising, healthy habits, healthy eating. If you don't have to smoke, do not smoke. If you do not have to take all this ebugioloro, now add the mixture of all this ebugioloro into all this. They will have drink origin, this origin, all these things. So one shenisi now is a booming business in Nigeria. What are the things? Who is regulating this? Where is ṣebí nǹkan tó ṣe tí nìyẹn tán fi clear Dora kúrò nílẹ̀ when she really clam on them. Where are this thing? But unfortunately, this group of people will rather follow VDM and call themselves Fratel instead of them actually looking at the problem that is dealing with us. Yes, Anita, you are right. The slimming tea. Àwọn kan dẹ̀ máa lọ ra slimming tea lọ́wọ́ Tẹ́ni olóṣì. Wọ́n á láwọn, you don't know what have been put in those slimming tea. All these things. Wọ́n á láwọn mu slimming tea. Wọ́n á láwọn ń ṣe olóṣì Tẹ́ni lòun ta insulin. How ridiculous can anyone say they are selling insulin? How? As ridiculous as it sounds to you and I, you'll be amazed that one of those people will go and still buy from her and say, you only diabetes, you on ferra insulin, one 80 teninta, on shisha dada. You will go and buy that nonsense and give to their mother. Blood glucose level is gonna either skyrocket or is gonna be dangerously low. By the time Toba ma fi gbé àwọn dé hospital, ìyá máa kú, wọ́n lọ hospital ló pa ìyá wọn. So all these things are factors that we need to keep preaching about. We need to keep talking about. When they've taken things they are not supposed to take, they are not going to check their blood glucose as often as they are supposed to check it. Why as well? Because they don't have the money to check it. Ẹ fẹ́ lọ tí wọ́n bá ní ọmọ nílùú òyìnbó ọ̀kan ní ẹbí nílùú òyìnbó tó bá wọn ra glucose monitoring tó ń ra kíní fún wọn. Do you know how much it is to go to the chemist or pharmacy? Àmọ́ fẹ́ wo oògùn kíní mi, wọ́n á check it. It's also amount. Màmá ṣe ti lo insulin yín lónìí. Ọmọ mi bá mi rà kan lọ́wọ́ èèyàn kan. Wọ́n ní eléyìí ti high jù ó yẹ ṣe kíní. Before you know it, before they will say ẹ lọ sí hospital, ẹ pa ògbóró mọ́. These are the problems we are having in our society. Tẹ́ni that cannot string two sentences of English together says she's selling medication for blood pressure. There are different types of hypertension, and one of the major ones that affect Black person is a pulmonary hypertension. And somebody who has no idea of the human anatomy and physiology, who has no idea of disease process, is selling medication for these people, and they will take it. Ẹlòmíì tó ní congestive cardiac failure or what was it called? Somebody who have heart failure or congestive cardiac failure. They will not listen to what they have told them. Meanwhile, they should have restriction on the fluid they can take in a day. If not, they will overload the heart. When you have heart failure or congestive cardiac failure, your heart is not able to take too much water. But no, they won't listen. Then they've put too much pressure on their hearts. Before you take them to the hospital with the lackadaisical behavior of the healthcare workers, before you know it, something tragic has happened. They go into cardiac arrest. Wọ́n ní kò sí bed. Kan tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ẹ lọ register, ẹ lọ gba card, ẹ lọ ṣe kinní kan. So you can see all the ripple effects of one thing. You want to take herbal tea, you can actually make it yourself. Ẹ lè ṣe lemon, kẹ́ ṣe pineapple, kẹ́ ṣe ginger, garlic, and mint leaf, and drink it. Just watch what you eat. That is it. You don't need to be buying insulin and ogun blood pressure, ogun wèrè Tẹ́ni lòun ta ogun àsopá. Ṣé QH radio ló fẹ́ tògùn àsopá fún ni? You know, so all these things needs to be speak about. We need to talk about it. We have had enough of this. Wumi ló ṣe gbá, ọjọ́ kan Wumi ò fún mi lẹ́ran méjì, ọjọ́ kan ó wò mí bákan. Idiot lifestyle was writing on his page, and she's I don't like her, she doesn't like me. But you were living in that house. These are the hypocrisy of you young people. Àwọn family, àwọn ẹbí yín, àwọn àgbààgbà lé yín, wọ́n ti bà ayé yín jẹ́. Instead kẹ́yìn náà ronú as a youth pé okay, what can I do? Ẹ̀yin náà tẹ pàṣẹ rádaràda. When I see young people misbehave, it hurts me. the time they are supposed to spend to carry a book and read. Okay, in my locality, in my environment, what are the things that are affecting our people? Kí ló ń affect àwọn àgbàlagbà tó wà láàrin wa? Ẹ wo on the main street of Lagos or in the main street of big cities, Dangote is one of the problem. How do we address it? How do we take this situation to the house for them to address it? How do we hold Dangote into account to either give is either Dangote park all his trailer off our roads, or he gives his driver proper training, proper insurance. If Timothy Ebagbayan contact, in fact, contact to the gbogbo level yẹn, proper teaching. My first talk this evening was about kindness, about patience. Tí driver yẹn bá ní sùúrù ní ọjọ́ tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀, ọmọ yẹn ò bá ṣì ní ẹsẹ̀. But because ó ti wò pé kò sẹ́ni tó máa mú mi now, I'm working for Dangote, who will catch me? That is the thing. Àìfi ni pé ní ẹ̀mí èèyàn ò jọ wá lójú. But all these young people wọn ò ní interest. Wọ́n ti fi igbó àti ògógóró wọ́n ti fi bà wọ́n láyé jẹ́. Ẹ lọ mu ògógóró àwọn ọmọ ìṣòbòṣòbò àtàwọn ọmọ ìbíní. I'm talking of something serious, but mo kàn rántí àwọn tó ní kẹ́rẹ́ àwọn àbògógóró àwọn ọmọ ìṣòbòṣòbò àtàwọn ọmọ ìbíní àtàwọn òròbòwàdó. But on a serious note, if our youth start looking into that, these are social factors that are affecting. But no, everybody wants to be on TikTok and be making money like Pella and be bragging. Mi ò kú lọ sí school and making 20 million a day. They've rubbished education. Now look at. Ẹ̀làmọ́ ẹ má bínú. Ọkọ̀rọ̀ tí ni àwọn ọmọ ìṣòbòṣòbò tó ń ta gogoro fáwọn ọmọ Èkó. Yọmọ káwọn ọmọ Èkó kúrò lẹ́yìn. Oh my God. At least those are physical issues we can see. So I've talked about the major thing that affects our Black people, our mothers, our aunties, our uncles, our fathers. Most of them have issues with their hearts. And it's because of so many things. Diabetes is very rife among us. Diabetes is very rife among us, and high blood pressure, diabetes, will subsequently lead to stroke. Where are the stroke? Do we have stroke rehab center in Nigeria or in our teaching hospitals? I don't know. So people will end up employing. They will end up having to use a private physio that comes once or twice a week. It's a lot. These things are expensive. They have to be on medications for a very long time. You have to, one of the family member have to now modify their own life or leave their job to come and be looking after somebody who's have a stroke. And you can imagine the effects of looking after somebody with such life-changing situation or life-changing disease. It have a lot of impacts. And now we're back to socio-economic factor. Ṣé èèyàn tí ò lè lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ló fẹ́ rí owó jẹun? These are a cycle that it will keep going round and round. So now you have to stay with mama or grandma or your mother or your sister or your brother or your uncle or your auntie, because they will always need help. Somebody who has stroke will always need help because they're going to mess up themselves. They've lost control of their bladder and their bowels. They cannot walk around. The muscle is gone weak. So these are the cumulating effects of all these things. So how do we prevent this from happening? So that if at all it happens, what are the measures that have to be put in place to help us manage this? Diabetes. I won't stop talking about diabetes. It is so common. Kini àwọn kan tá ń jẹ. The fact that if my mother or my father have diabetes, there is chances that I might have it. And how do I prevent it? These are genetics. Then back to socio-economic factors as well. Back to lifestyle. as well. And most people don't know there are two types of diabetes. There is type 1 and type 2. Type 1 won't be any ebony, and it is really, really unfair on a child that has got problem with the pituitary gland, and they have to deal with type 1 diabetes for the rest of their life. They have to be on insulin for the rest of their life. As in, it's not that you won't take it for a day, it is for the rest of their life. Now we have type 2 diabetes, which could be diet related, it could be lifestyle related, it could be genetics as well. So these are things that we look into. And if you put too much stress on your heart, you are at risk of having heart disease. Heart disease, the most common is hypertension, but we have congestive cardiac disease or coronary cardiac issue. We have ischemic heart disease. We have the heart failure where the heart is not doing what it's supposed to do. We have the right bundle block, whatever. We have the left one. We have so many. We have the ones that will make your heartbeat not to beat properly. It's so much that goes on in the heart and the arteries and the veins of the heart. All these things need to be properly managed. We have types of hypertension. So because Yarisi on low amlodipine doesn't mean that Iya Basira no must use amlodipine because they both have hypertension. No, they both needs to be seen properly and being reviewed. They need to be under the care of a cardiologist to know the type of heart issue they are dealing with, so as to give the proper medication. So Yarisi ò gbọ́dọ̀ lọ gba oògùn lọ́wọ́ Ìyá Basira láti lò because ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀. These are things we need to educate our people, educate our mothers, so educate our friends, pass this message over so that they can know. These three main diseases, if we can really deal with it in Nigeria, we've solved part of our problem, because entobani, one of the organ problem, we end up most likely having another organ problem. If your heart is not working properly, if it's not doing what it's supposed to do, it will most likely affect your kidney. And if your kidney is not filtering what it's supposed to filter, our kidneys does a massive, great job of filtering the dirt your body will need. Retain the electrolytes and all those things that we need, and to mashara lore. Màámi Risikat Badmus, ẹ má bínú, orúkọ tó wá sí máìdì mi. So if that doesn't happen, the person goes into renal failure. Hard láti rí renal transplant in Nigeria or kidney transplant. Kì í ṣe iṣẹ́ kékeré o. You need money. You need to fly the person to India. Bí tó máa ń lọ nìyẹn. Imagine bí gbogbo Naija ṣe tó, ká má ní ẹni tó lè ṣe kidney transplant. And the person will have to be on transplant medication for the rest of their lives. Wípé wọ́n tiẹ̀ ṣe transplant gan, the body might reject it as well. So many things. So why do we not just work and ensure this doesn't happen than now trying to manage it? And doing dialysis in Nigeria is expensive. Average of 3 times a week. It is expensive, massively expensive. So ẹ jọ̀ọ́, we should look into all these little ones I've spoken about this evening. Then we look at people that end up going to put themselves into infection. Liver disease. Liver disease is a big thing now. Hepatitis, we have different types, A, B, C, and co. Do not allow anything to affect your liver. Liver is, yes, now you can do some transplants and blah, 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 but liver is very, so ẹ̀yin rí sí ti ẹ̀pọ̀ ní orí platform wa, gbogbo ẹ̀yin rí sí cat, ẹ máa sanwó fún mi o. So So we need to look into all these things. So these are aspects that, and the truth is, when one is dealing with chronic disease or illness, ó máa affect earnings, ó máa affect owó tó máa wọlé, because tẹ́ni ẹ bá tiẹ̀ lè lọ ṣiṣẹ́, tó bá sì lè ṣiṣẹ́ tó sì ń ṣe business, owó yẹn ó lọ fi ń wo àìsàn. Kò sí free health ní Nigeria. I was looking at one guy's TikTok the other day. He's doing mental health awareness. He was one time admitted to neuropsychiatric hospital in I can't remember if it was Uselu or in Abeokuta. Anyway, what I picked out from this situation was this guy, whenever he goes, now he's a lot better, he's doing well, he's raising awareness regarding schizophrenia and all that. And what I picked in this whole thing was the fact that whenever Toba Logba injection, so he needs to go take his injection every 2 months, I think I heard right. And he was saying that he paid for that injection. And I was really shocked. I was honestly shocked. I have been in health for so many years, and I was amazed that wọ́n gba owó lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó ní mental health disorder. That is Nigerian government. That is the lowest of the low you can go. That is terrible. So what they are basically saying to us is, if this young man and the likes of him does not have family that support, that have little change that can be given to him, that means there is no hope for this person. So you're going to either see the family trying to manage him by themselves, which they might not be able to, or take him to church. It shocked me. It gave me sleepless nights. It worries me. Yeah, Lambs, I started saying, I think this is the second time I will see his post on TikTok. I was genuinely shocked, to be honest. And it troubled my spirit. It really troubled me, because I know the impact of mental health on an individual. And that is what came to my mind. What if this young man does not have a supporting network? What if he doesn't have family that understand what is going on? Tí ò bá lè ṣiṣẹ́, báwo ló ṣe máa rí owó tó máa lọ fi máa gba abẹ́rẹ́ every 2 months? Look at how low our government has become. There are some condition you have here in the UK. That medication and all your other medications will be free for the rest of your life. Having low thyroid in the UK is considered one of those issues. And this is not, if it's well managed, it doesn't even affect your lifestyle or anything. If you have that, you just tell the government, they will give you medical exemption card. You don't pay for your medication and all the other medication. Vitamin A, Lasongon, everything will become free. All in the fact that because this person has been diagnosed with low thyroid. Now imagine something as big as schizophrenia. This person is paying for it. I don't know. And nobody has actually, I don't know if he has taken it up with the system or anyone have taken it up with the system. And even the doctors and the nurses and the pharmacists that works in that organization does not think that, okay, under World Health Organization, is this right? Is this fair? Do you actually honestly think it is okay for people dealing with this situation to be paying for their medication? What if they do not? What if he's an only child and kò ní support, his parents are old and aged and kò níṣẹ́? Because then tó bá wà ní àlàáfíà ẹ̀mí, òun ló máa lè ṣiṣẹ́. And he is religious with taking his medication. He's taking it as that when he knows his appointment day, he comes and he has to pay. Why is no one? Where are people? Where are humans? Where are mothers and fathers? Where are the health professionals? Where is the chief medical director in all this? Where are the nursing directors? Who is saying something? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. How do we think it is okay for somebody who is having a debilitating illness that can snap at any minute should be paying for such medication? How do we hold our system accountable into doing right by us? Ṣé ń tó ní psychiatric issue tó ń sanwó ẹ wá ní pé kí ìyá tó nídìí insulin kó má sanwó ẹmẹyẹ tí insulin cost, so tí ìyá ọba wa lè afford insulin ní òyìnbó tó bá lọ ra insulin lọ́wọ́ Tẹ́ni ọmọ ológo tí nǹkan wá yíwọ́ tí ìyá kú. Please, who do we blame in all this? Who do we blame in all this? Here in the UK, when you've been diagnosed with that type of diabetes, whichever one, you're given the machine to monitor you. And it's gonna be yours. You know, they will have a district nurse that will be coming in to show you and teach you until you know how to manage your situation yourself. You have a pharmacy that will be at the top of your medication and know when you are doing and all that. Exactly, Anita. Wọ́n ní ṣe ayé ni kò sí nǹkan tó ń ṣe kínní. Some people even make a joke pé Nigeria, we are happy people, kò sẹ́ni tó máa ń ya wèrè ní kínní. Meanwhile, wọ́n ti gbàgbé pé tán bá wọnú Yaba left ọkàn wọnú Aro ọkàn lọ sí Uselu, you will see, you'll be amazed, you'll be very amazed at the number of people that are there. Kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀dì gan. There are no beds. People are admitted on the beds. These are real issues that is dealing with our society. It's taking lives. Then we are back to the socio-economic factor. So we can see why the society is poor. Because èèyàn tí ò ní àlàáfíà both physically and mentally tó lè fi ṣiṣẹ́, ẹjọ́ báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ pa owó? Ẹjọ́ báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ pa owó? We need a change, honestly. We need a change. We need oh boy. You know, Anita, here they can call pastor, at least they still have they can still call pastors and all that, but at least they will ensure that they are still being seen by this thing. Mo ti sọ nípa Aries, àkúdàáyà olóṣì ni. Ìgbà tó yẹ kán gbé lọ sí Yaba, wọ́n lọ fún pásítọ̀ tó ń sọ ẹsẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀. Ìyẹn ló do àwọn wèrè òṣì. Òun ló ṣe ń misbehave káàkiri. Ìgbà tára tù díẹ̀ ló gba ìgbà tára tù díẹ̀ ló gba Italy, òun ló gbà dé America olóṣì. Ẹni tí ò mọ meaning Schengen. I remember that time last year she was arguing with Lilibet. She doesn't know what Schengen means. She's saying wèrè ni àkúdàáyà wèrè ni ẹ́. Wúyẹ jẹ́ fi àkúdàáyà sílẹ̀ because ayé yẹn ti bàjẹ́, òkú ni. Òun ló ṣe rí bó ṣe ń han ohun tó ń ṣe. Mo kọ́kọ́ rò bóyá wọ́n ń play train underground fún wa ni. Àṣewèrè ni wọ́n ń play ohun ẹ̀. Kí ló ṣe ẹ́? Wọ́n tún fún ẹ ní CPAP machine ó lè lò torí ó fẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń lọ. Ọmọ Wumi o, ọmọ Wumi ni o, ọmọ Wumi ni o. Ọmọ Wumi is breaking news. Èmi ni ìyá breaking news. Let me come and tell you. Ọmọ Wumi, I got your petition. Olórí burúkú, ó ní wọ́n ti gbé ń jọ yẹn, wọ́n fún ẹ ní lion 3. Lion yẹn ló máa jẹ. Ó máa jẹ gbogbo ọpọlọ ẹ. Wèrè alárùn ọpọlọ. Don't worry, Jare. No worry about digressing. It's needed sometimes. So, yeah, that is where we are. Yeah. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n léèyàn ló wà lọ́rọ̀ nídìí ọ̀rọ̀ wọn. Yeah, I've seen a situation in UCH that year. Obìnrin yẹn stage 4 breast cancer ló gbé dé. Ìdí ń yọ lọ́yàn ẹ̀ ìdí. Obviously kò lè yé because ìgbà tó yẹ kó lọ sí hospital ó ní wọ́n lọ from one ilé aláàfáà wọ́n lọ sí ilé church wọ́n lọ ilé babaláwo kò sí oríṣiríṣi kan tó ń yàn. Ìyáálé kan ló ta lọ́fà wọ́n ta lọ́fà ní kinní kan before you know it ìgbà tó ṣì wà ní stage 1 tó yẹ kán ti tètè yọ if tó yẹ kán máa ṣe mastectomy nìkan ṣe nǹkan tó máa ṣe kó kúrò ńbẹ̀ rárá o ìyáálé mi ló wà nídìí mi ìyá ọkọ mi ni ò fẹ́ kí n gbélé ọkọ kinní kan before you know it it has metastasized not just only to the breast area to the lungs to the internal organs to the bone and now they are there. Temperature is she's septic and obviously ikuni at the end of the day these are things that we have refused to sensitize our people about. So many. I had one too that time. It was leukemia. It was leukemia. Thank God there is a lot of research now these days. And like I said, UCH, I've said it here before, UCH was a center for cancer research in West Africa those days. I don't know about now, so you see a lot of patients under cancer care and all that. So this young man, he was 28 and he had leukemia. It's very sad. It was a very sad situation. And obviously, if for teaching purpose, if you don't know what leukemia is, it's cancer of the blood, and it's terrible. It's really, really terrible. And he went into delirium and he was, it's bad. And it became that, it got to that level because people don't know the signs when things are going on. The first thing is, lọ sọ́dọ̀ pastor kan lọ gbàdúrà fún ẹ. So by the time they get to a point of going to the hospital to do tests, to look out for the markers, because there are cancer markers that needs to so by the time they get to that point, President, sure, man. So by the time they get to the point of kidney, and now research is saying with bone marrow transplant, President, ẹ bá mute o kó má di pé the next time máa gbọ́ tàtàtà o. Ìyá wa àjíhún. President. Mi ò rò pé wà tó fi fún mi.
Ẹ má bínú ọ̀nà jíjìn mo wà ó dẹ̀ mo mú tù mí bí báyìí.
À ń gbọ́ ọ mo ní kó má di pé the next time.
Airpod ni mò ń lò. Ẹ má
bínú. Má di pé the next time máa gbọ́.
Ẹ má bínú.
Ká má bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa gbọ́ tàtàtà. So
ìrọ̀lẹ́ fi yẹn apá ẹ̀ lè gbọ́ tàtàtà olóko mi ò tẹ̀lé mi ló bá tán.
Mo ti gbọ́. Ṣáwa wà ń bẹ ni ṣáfẹ́ mọ̀ bóyá olóko yín tẹ̀lé yín àbí kò tẹ̀lé yín.
Àná mi lẹ máa gbóhùn mi àtàná mi la jọ ń jẹ sẹ̀mú àtẹ̀já tútù.
Ẹ wá ń dájẹ́ ẹ̀ fáwà jẹ́. Ṣó dáa bẹ́ẹ̀ president ẹ̀ ń jẹ sẹ̀mú àtẹ̀já tútù ẹ fà wá sílẹ̀ síbí káàkọ́ máa rojọ́ lọ kò dáa o ẹ ronúpìwàdà o. So yeah, if things that needs to be put in place have been put in place, if people understand the aspect of seeking medical intervention as early as possible, probably things could have been different. But no, wọ́n máa kọ́ sọ pé eléyìí ní kẹ́ ṣe. Yeah, Anita, those were situation that has happened before, but I hope it's not still happening. And I think that person could have been educated on the aspect of transfer during delivery between a mother and child. And they should have told that the safest point is cesarean section when the person has high five, HIV, so that they will not transfer it to their to their kids. So many things that we need to teach our people. Even attending antenatal care, doing the things that needs to be done. As a woman, you're in a childbearing age. You want to start having kids, start using folic acid, the normal folic acid um, prior to getting pregnant. It will help reduce the chance of birth defect. Eat well, exercise as your body is able to. Let your health provider or your doctor know if you have any medical history, social history. Let them know. If you're the type that drinks and smoke, stop smoking. Definitely stop smoking while you're pregnant. It is a no. Stop. Absolutely. And if your husband or your partner smokes, they need to stop at that point so that smoke, you will not be inhaling smoke from him, and it might affect your unborn baby. Do your test. Carry out the test that they've asked you to carry out. You can even detect some defect while in utero. And when you've gotten to that, do your scan. They will know if you should have a vaginal birth or you're going to have a cesarean section. If they've told you you're going to have a cesarean section, it's not. Ask them why. Let them explain to you. Don't just say, I reject it in Jesus' name. Mo fẹ́ bímọ bí Hebrew women. Hebrew women bímọ. So please stop saying that I will deliver like the Hebrew women. You don't know how the Hebrew women had their baby. You don't know if the midwives of those days were trained in the aspect of cesarean section, because if you look at history, cesarean section has been as far back as before Christ, actually. So those people knew how to baby. So don't come out and say, because if you end up having a baby with cerebral palsy, or palsy, whichever pronunciation, you don't want to know what people that have children with defect goes through. Please protect yourself, protect your unborn baby, protect the ones you already have. You as a human being, you are your own advocate. Concerning your health, you are your own advocate. Be honest, be truthful, do what you're supposed to do. If they say exercise, exercise. If they say do not drink Coke while pregnant, don't drink it. That's 9 months. If you are on medication, let your doctor know you are on medication so that they will know if that medication is compatible with pregnancy, or if they need to change it to something else that is compatible with pregnancy. Immediately you're pregnant, you're going to keep that pregnancy. Any medications that you're taking, social medications or whatever they call them, recreational drugs, stop them immediately. If Guinness, don't get Guinness, stop it. Even some foods that are not, go online, read about foods that are okay in pregnancy, read about the ones that are not okay. Between that 9 to 10 months, try as much as possible to look after yourself.